Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and having a great day. We have a lot of very interesting news today to start things off. Brad Garlinghouse was recently interviewed by CNBC at the recent Money 2020 event in Amsterdam. Ethereum World News had earlier mentioned the manner in which Ripple XRP would more or less defeat Bitcoin in the future as an offshoot opinion piece of Mr. Garlinghouse's comments during the same interview. Brad Garlinghouse was noted as saying that there is a list of major banks in line to use the XRP platform by the end of this year, with dozens expected to be doing so by next year. He had this to say about XRP. He said, by the end of this year, major banks will use XRP as a liquidity tool. By the end of next year, I would certainly hope that we will see in the order of magnitude of dozens, but we also need to continue to grow that ecosystem, grow the liquidity. XRP uses XRP to source the much needed instant liquidity as mentioned by Brad for international payment transactions by banks and remittance service providers. Recently concluded tests of XRP service indicate that it saves banks anywhere from 40 to 70% as compared to using traditional Forex exchange middlemen. When asked about his price predictions for XRP, Mr. Garlinghouse had this to say. He said, I don't know how to predict the price of XRP. I would dare not say. We are one player in the XRP ecosystem. I think as we do things that we do to enhance the use of XRP, we will see the ecosystem growing healthier and healthier. What I've noticed over the last couple of, I want to say not even weeks. If you noticed before, we had a very 2-3 month period where there was barely any news from Ripple, because once we had confirmation that 150 banks had partnered with Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse said that we would not receive any more news until they had passed the 200 bank partnership. Since the beginning of this month, when SBI has launched, he's become a lot more brazen, and I don't know if he just had too much sugar, if he's just very energized. I don't know what's exactly going on. But the fact that we now have confirmation that major banks will be using XRP, the guy from SBI, if you have looked around at any of the tweets, if you happen to, I think most of them are in Japanese, but some of them end up being in English. The head of the SBI bank is all but certain that XRP is going to hit $10 by the end of this year. And I find this interesting and weird because you typically don't hear the head of a bank saying something like that. If you understand what I'm saying, like there's never a definitive number that is given out at any given time when it comes to an asset class. So the fact that he is constantly predicting 10 by the end of this year, and even when you look further into it, it's actually he's predicting $10 for XRP by the end of this year, the head of the bank of SBI, and that's before XRP is actually turned on. It's going to be I think a very interesting next couple of months when it comes to XRP. Brad Garlinghouse also said that he's pretty sure that XRP is going to overtake Bitcoin by the end of the year because of all of this. Whether that's going to happen is yet to be seen. But like I said, something is definitely happening because Brad Garlinghouse, not to spend too much time on this once again, I told someone before, they were saying, why would he say things like this? The partnerships that Ripple has formed, he would be an absolute idiot to mention that banks would be using XRP if it wasn't going to already happen. That is to say, it's all but a given that this is going to happen, because if he lied to any institutions that they planned on bringing on board and they found out that other banks weren't going to be using XRP, Ripple and XRP would completely crumble in price, both of them completely together. So it's nice to have confirmation, if you will, of where Ripple and XRP will be heading in the next couple of months. Next up, Twitch is in the news. Popular Twitch streaming app Streamlabs will now allow users to tip streamers using cryptocurrency, the company announced on Friday. The service, which allows live stream operators to accept donations from their fans, has already integrated the functionality enabling streamers to accept cryptocurrency tips immediately. Very cool. Streamlabs will use Coinbase as its payment processor, so streamers will need to connect the service to their Coinbase accounts. After streamers have linked their accounts, viewers will automatically have the option to tip using cryptocurrency. The service will initially support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, the 4 cryptocurrencies currently available on the Coinbase platform. However, Streamlabs said that it will be looking into adding other coins in the future. Streamers do not have to pay a fee to use the service, but they will incur transaction fees if they decide to sell coins for fiat on Coinbase. My belief is that a lot of people think that the way that cryptocurrencies will end up kind of taking off is if we have one major killer app. This has been spoken about for quite some time. People think that when we have the one app that is built on Ethereum or built on EOS or built on whatever other platform there is out there that has stuff built on top of it, that this will become the major player in the game. I still firmly believe it's more of like a divide and conquer type thing. Smaller Switch isn't exactly small, but other platforms that other people are using that slowly integrate with cryptocurrencies will allow people to tip in cryptocurrencies. I think this is how we eventually increase the volume of things going back and forth. Once we figured out a way to have proper microtransactions, especially with Bitcoin and other coins out there, where we can literally send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cents, especially if you are trying to tip people on platforms like this. This is when I think cryptocurrencies will completely explode, because realistically, you'll eventually have times where there's around 100 million people who are just sending 5, 10 cents back and forth between people, especially when it comes to messaging apps, like what Telegram is planning on doing with their token is going to be, at least my belief. I think the small payments will add up to something major in the cryptocurrency market. Next up, very interesting news. Germany is in the news today. Apparently, 6 financial institutions in Germany are already dealing in cryptocurrency in some form, the country's finance ministry has confirmed. Responding to an inquiry from Thomas Lutzer, a member of left-wing populist party The Left, or Die Linke, the Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, or BaFin, confirmed that cryptocurrency activity is ongoing in institution under its jurisdiction. This was reported by Reuters. BaFin's response related to the dealing in or possible acquisition of cryptocurrency, but did not name the banks or related entities involved. Acquisition of cryptocurrencies by banks. I've said this before, and I'll definitely say it again until we have, until the last bank has fallen. Germany is the largest market in Europe. And I am all but certain if Germany's doing this, the smaller banks around Europe are also definitely starting to acquire cryptocurrencies, and the same exact thing with the American banks. Still left to be seen exactly how much, but I have my own ideas that they're probably buying around anywhere from 1 to 10 million per day. There's just the number that's going in through my head. Simply because they don't want to cause a huge spike in the price. If banks put everything in at one time that they wanted to put into it, we would definitely have days where the market went up by around 25% and then completely dropped because the volume was gone the next day. But like I said, it's very believable, at least for me in my head. If you acquire $1 million per day of a coin, it barely registers across multiple exchanges. And at the end of the year, you still have around $365 million invested into crypto. While several players in the banking industry became notable first movers on the German market several years ago by offering Bitcoin exposure to its clients, the country continues to drag its feet on the broader issue of regulation and classification of virtual assets. This is true, but like I said, or rather the SEC and all these other people have been saying, everyone's very cautious on exactly what they say about certain coins or certain activities within the cryptocurrency space, because things change very quickly in the cryptocurrency market. Last month, BaFin members nonetheless offered expertise to Georgia's central bank during a visit to share supervisory experiences on cryptocurrency. I spoke about this as well. Germany literally went to another country to tell them how to get into cryptocurrency. All the answers are there, guys. A new working group focused on blockchain and related phenomena, the Blockchain Bundesverband, is currently active in the German parliament following its foundation in July of last year. Very nice to hear. I like I said, any type of positive news from a country, not even just a company, that they are dealing with cryptocurrencies, I find very pleasing to the eyes and to the ears. Despite remaining hawkish on cryptocurrency propagation, BaFin revealed to Lutza that it currently had no open inquiries relating to money laundering or other suspicious activities involving virtual assets among its institutions. This is incredibly good news because the one thing that they constantly try to use against us is that there's some type of money laundering going on, that some type of something wrong is happening with cryptocurrencies and we have to know about it. So the fact that they have no open inquiries, if you do not know, Germany is very thorough in what they do. They make sure if something is wrong, they know about it. So the fact that there are no open inquiries is literally a great thumbs up. All those with permission to deal in those assets are technically able to distribute cryptocurrency ATMs for fiat exchange, but whether this had ever occurred is unknown. The response continues. Incredibly good news. I like hearing news about this or things like this. Like I said, Germany is a major player in the EU markets, and typically what ends up happening is that other smaller countries will eventually start to follow suit because they see that it is working out for Germany. Next up, so this is not a prediction. I don't even know what to call it. A major reprieve may just be in the offering for the battered Bitcoin bulls in the next 36 hours. If, that is, historical patterns repeat themselves. Intriguingly, the cryptocurrency tends to take a significant change of direction on the 6th day of every month, and that is today. Let's see if this ends up happening. We've heard so many things, I think, at this point. We heard March would be the time when the market goes back up. We heard April. We heard May was the last time that Bitcoin would be under 10,000. We heard that it would happen with consensus. I don't think anyone actually knows anymore. I think people are just kind of throwing things out there. I like to talk about things. I know a couple of people not get upset, but people get anxious and annoyed when I give price predictions and stuff like that. I do it. This is why I always say do your own research and just assume that I'm just some guy on the other side of your screen with a microphone, because it's what I am. I give these to kind of give like a glimmer of hope to see where the market can end up going. But apparently today is the day when there might be a little type of boost as the market does jump on the 6th. Why the 6th? I have no idea. But the market is actually up, at least for the time of me making this video. It's nice to see a sea of green, if you will. Binance Coin has been going absolutely insane over the last couple of days. It's something to do with, I think they're starting a new fund that's going to be denominated in Binance Coin. I think they also have, what is it? If you own Binance Coin, I think you get some type of discount on their website. It's all very interesting exactly what Binance is doing, but they're very, very smart. Let's see if this trend ends up continuing with the cryptocurrency market today. I still see no reason why there is any bearish sentiment. We've only had a tidal wave of good news every single day, but just kind of how the market is right now. Next up, Bitcoin Cash is in the news. A new initiative seeks to convince Bitcoin Cash miners to remove the dust limit and begin processing a limited number of zero-fee transactions in every block, and it has backing from several high-profile individuals. Announced on Tuesday by In-Chain Group and CoinGeek, the so-called Miner's Choice initiative asks miners to eliminate the current Bitcoin Cash dust limit, which stipulates the minimum transaction size that they will mine and include in blocks. At present, standard Bitcoin Cash software clients have a dust limit of 546 Satoshis, which has an approximate US value of 0.6 of 1 cent. CoinGeek and InChain said that their mining firms will begin allowing users to make transactions as small as 1 Satoshi. Additionally, the two firms said that they will begin including an unspecified number of zero-fee transactions in blocks that they mine, rather than requiring all users to pay a transaction fee of at least 1 Satoshi per byte. Requiring users to pay a transaction fee helps prevent spam from clogging up the blockchain and incentivizes them to make payments more efficiently. However, CoinGeek and InChain said that removing a fee requirement will make Bitcoin Cash useful for microtransactions, as well as create a healthy, competitive fee marketplace among miners. I know there's a lot of flack about Bitcoin Cash, but you got to give it to them. If the price ends up going down, whatever. But they're literally trying their darndest. if you noticed, it has to be like every other day. So like every third day, there's some type of news about Bitcoin Cash with them trying to find a way to make it more user friendly. Processing zero fee transactions, them doing the coin burn. I forgot what else they're doing. I think they're also going to be locking up some coins or something like that to make the circulating supply a bit lower. They're definitely working for their money. I know, like I said, a lot of people don't like Bitcoin Cash. I'm indifferently different when it comes to the entire project. But you can't knock them. They're definitely trying to make their money when it comes to everything that they are doing. Last up, something that I thought was happening and something that a lot of people said would start a domino fall is apparently already taking place. A lawyer specializing in cryptocurrency hedge funds has said that some universities have been making small investments into digital assets. John Lohr claims that crypto hedge funds are proving an attractive opportunity for academic institutions on the East Coast of America. For now, cryptocurrency investment seems to represent too much of a risk for most institutions. There's still scant regulation over the industry, and the lack of proven success of many of the existing funds in this space also puts them off. However, a lawyer at the Capital Fund Law Group, a New York-based law firm, claims that some universities are now starting to take up small positions. John Lohr spoke to Business Insider about the interest he'd noticed among certain academic institutions. He says, "I can't say the names of the academic institutions because that's attorney-client, but we have people mostly on the East Coast that have begun doing investments in this space on a fairly modest basis." There was news a couple of weeks ago when people were talking about the institutional investors who would need to get in order to kind of create the domino effect for the cryptocurrency space or for other people to start to get into the cryptocurrency space. One of the main players that I didn't even think of was actually universities and colleges around the U.S. Simply because if you have ever been to the U.S., if you know anything about the U.S. and how much it costs to go to universities, it's typically very expensive. So a lot of these are actually creating trusts and hedge funds and mutual funds in the name of the university, which means that they have a lot of money because tuition is so high. But a lot of them actually invest in gold and silver and in real estate and a lot of other really weird things. And the idea was, if they're investing in these other things, eventually they're going to start to eye cryptocurrencies. And I assume it's already happening right now, but apparently what needs to happen is, once again, we need to have a big name. If you have Harvard or Yale or Princeton, I think Princeton is in the States, get into it. These small universities will eventually go, they're into it, we have to get into it because they found a way to make money from it, and this is how the game is kind of played, I guess. But yeah, so it's very interesting to hear that this is already happening. I had my suspicions for quite some time. I'm pretty sure companies and universities and banks and businesses have been getting into cryptocurrency since around 2015, but I'm going to assume that they've all but increased their positions over the last couple of months because things are starting to get so hot. There was something I was watching from 2015. It was talking about the cryptocurrency market back in 2015, and just to see how low the prices were, it was like a smack to the face. But even the person who was talking, he was saying how many venture capital firms, even in 2015, were back in cryptocurrencies and how they were getting invested in. And he said, I can't say the names of any of my clients, but they're definitely picking up, $5-6 million worth of Bitcoin and stuff like that. So just goes with my suspicion that there's a lot less of all of these coins floating around than we actually think. And over the next 2 years, when we finally have proper numbers of the wallets that just aren't moving, and we know exactly how many coins are floating around the system, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Alrighty, everyone, that is definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope you guys have a great morning if you're listening to this in the morning. A lot of people are not the morning people. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. And I will talk to you all soon. See you.